Hello and welcome to Gospel Gleanings for this Sunday, January the 19th, 2025. My brothers and sisters, on this second Sunday in Ordinary Time, we hear from the Gospel of John, chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. There was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servers, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now and take it to the headwaiter." So they took it. And when the headwaiter tasted the water that had become wine, without knowing where it came from, although the servers who had drawn the water knew, the headwaiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then, when people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs at Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory, and his disciples began to believe in him. My brothers and sisters, do we have the courage and the desire to do the will of God? Do we heed Mother Mary's advice? Do whatever he tells you. I think that could be challenging in a world that tries to pull us in many different directions, a world that tries to get us to focus on our own happiness, our own will, our own fulfillment. And it challenges us to go outside of those things to where we find the shepherd. It involves us praying constantly and listening for his will and then responding. If you notice, the changing of the water to wine reminds us of the changing of the ordinary elements of bread and wine into the body and blood of Christ at the Eucharist. Christ can change any situation in our lives for the better. He works miracles in the modern day. And like in our gospel this weekend, he asks for our participation in those miracles as well. Notice the miracle of the water into wine required many hands, many people working together and obeying God for the miracle to happen. We too are co-collaborators, and we conspire with God to do great things. But to do great things, it requires us not to rely on our own strength, our own will, our own desires, but to reconcile those desires to God. Notice if one of the servers did their own will or did the things their way, the miracle wouldn't have turned out quite like it did. And we too must listen for the voice of God, be obedient to the will of God, and collaborate with God. If we do this, if we are truly obedient to God and we do whatever he tells us, we will be used by God in beautiful ways in our lives, in our walk toward eternity. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.